Tehseen Poonawalla is a political analyst, Rajat Sethi as well. Rohan Gupta belongs to the BJP and Sanjay, formerly of the Congress, also speaks against the BJP in this respect. Rajat, I'm going to come to you first. This is a larger subjective question we're asking because there is no empirical data. The empirical data will come when an election happens. And the first election that happens is upon us very soon in the form of Bihar. Some psephologists, some pollsters have done certain mood studies like they did in 2019 for the Rafale campaign as well. Some suggest it's a bit of a mixed bag. What is your sense? You've been on the ground, you've spoken to voters, you look at numbers very closely. What is your sense on the vote chori issue? Will it resonate?
So Shiv, while I'm not going to get into the veracity of these claims,
we're not getting into
you look
that
at
today.
it from a campaign. So we are looking at it only from a campaign point of view. See, Congress party wanted to rejuvenate its cadres, and you require a hook around which you can hold the campaign around. And I believe Rahul Gandhi, he can bring about the roti kapda makan issues. But there are limitations because, you have been in the power, even Tejasvi has been in power for almost a year and a half. So, clinging on to the roti kapda makan issues will only go so far in generating credence and credibility. Question is around credibility or the lack of it. What would Rahul Gandhi, would try and choose as its main poll plank? And what Rahul Gandhi has chosen is something which might, rejuvenate not just his cadre, but create enough doubt in the swing voters to swing its way. Now, the challenge with Rahul Gandhi is that how does he create even one data point, which is beyond reasonable doubt? In order to win public sentiment towards you, you need to create one case, bring one polling booth or one village where you can categorically, without any institutional support of election commission, Supreme Court, anything of that sort, where you can just justifiably through data prove that yes, vote chori has happened. And this is the modus operandi of vote chori. Unfortunately, so far, that hasn't happened. Otherwise, neutral people also would have been hitting the street. That hasn't happened. So while, you will see people on the ground rallying in the motorbikes and all of that, but it doesn't translate into vote beyond your base, which is already there. So while this issue and a good slogan that whatever he's using, that vote chor, gaddi chor, it might resonate and energize his base. But would it add value beyond that? I have serious doubts about it.
Tehseen, what do you think? One thing is energizing your cadres, and Rahul Gandhi has demonstrated that to quite an impressive degree with his vote Adhikar Yatra in Bihar as well. The crowds are coming. The cadres are happy, they're energized, they're out there, they seem to be galvanized as well. Rajat says he's not so sure about whether it will resonate with the voting public. Tehseen?
Thank you so much, Shiv, for having me on the show. There are two aspects to this. Number one, the Congress cadre in Bihar and overall the Congress cadre needed some sort of a motivation to come back on, particularly after the defeat in Haryana, which was unexpected, Maharashtra, which was unexpected. Remember, after 2024, the Congress was supposed to sweep both of these states. Now, we go back to 2024, you see the Bharat Jodo Yatra prior to that, where the Congress was down and out. Most in media thought Prime Minister Modi sweeping this with 400 plus seats. But Bharat Jodo Yatra did rejuvenate the Congress, changed Mr. Gandhi's image, and the Congress had a great performance. Of course, there were other factors involved as well. So now what the Congress has figured out is it needs its cadres on the ground. So to that extent, yes, the vote chori allegations and the yatra helps. It also helps Mr. Gandhi that the election commission and the election commissioner is being confrontational with the leader of opposition, not really answering questions, but a referee is expected to assuage feelings. Here he is getting to the ring and taking on the leader of opposition. That helps him create the perception that the EC is helping the ruling party or the government at hand. Will this alone translate to a victory? No, it won't. And I've told this to the Congress. What the Congress needs to do now is go from vote chori to Adhikar Yatra. And that's what they're doing in Bihar. You see, in Bihar, I was in Bihar for about 4 or 5 days in the interiors, in the Himachal region. What I realize is what a lot of people are scared about is not that they may not be able to vote, that they lose all the benefits that they are getting because of being citizens of India. Now, when you're saying कि Bihar Adhikar Yatra, हम आपको अधिकार दिलाएंगे, and then you see the election commission, which you hold in high esteem, taking on the leader of opposition, not really answering, and with no malice, the BJP coming in there and answering for the EC, it creates a perception of I may lose my rights. So that is so far the base. Can they take it forward? That is the challenge for the Congress.
Rohan, is the BJP nervous about the vote chori campaign and the threats of this hydrogen bomb? Your party has debunked and fact-checked Rahul Gandhi at every step, including today. But what are your internal studies saying? What are your internal surveys saying? Is there any resonance, any echo on the ground?
See, Shiv, I think these so-called hydrogen, nitrogen bombs, they are going to be mood of self-destruction as far as Congress party is concerned. Because at the end of the day, Rahul Gandhi is leader of opposition. And I think that post is losing the credibility now because of these baseless claims. See, you have to see what Rahul Gandhi's last press conference said and what is the outcome on the ground. I will give 3 examples. Maybe it will take 10-20 seconds. He gave an example of Shakur Rani that she voted twice. After that, Shakur Rani filed affidavit with her husband that I have not voted for twice. He gave example of somebody having 0 address. Then Election Commission clarified that people who live temporary, obviously there is a provision of giving 0 address. After that, he gave an example where 80 voters were registered, some Rani Bagh or something. It came out that there were tenants and they were shifting the place, and because of the migration, they continued voting. So if the claims which were made last time, whatever bomb, I don't know the name of bomb, if all the claims which were made then, if on verification they are not proved right, what kind of credibility you are talking? Vote chori maybe as a word, it will look a good campaign. But whom it is touching? My friend gave example of Bihar. In Bihar, after SIR, 7 crore 24 lakh voters got their name in the electoral roll. And another 65 lakh people who were not part of the electoral, the list was given to Congress party and their agents. Till now, they have not able to file a single complaint against that. To whom this campaign is touching? The people whose names are already there in voter list, 7 crore 24 lakhs, they are happy. The people who are 65 lakhs, the Congress party is not able to take a single name. So where this campaign is going? It is just a rhetoric, just without the base. This is not going to garner votes. And I completely agree with Rajat. It might sound that, their cadre is energized. But what? It is like Chokidar Chor hai. It is like Hindenburg. These are the campaigns which looks good in...
there is also... but on ground, Sanjay, I'm coming to you in just a moment. But Tehseen put up his hand, so a quick rebuttal from him before I go to Sanjay. But I also want to make an important point here that, Rahul Gandhi is looking for a knockout blow with all these documents that he's putting out. He is hoping not for a smoking gun, but a knockout blow that completely mesmerizes the public into believing that they've been taken for a ride as far as the electoral process is concerned. And therefore, voting for the Congress is going to be the only way out. Because remember, the Congress is not boycotting the election. They're just saying the election has been hijacked. Tehseen, you want to come in also because Tejasvi Yadav, who's been riding on that motorcycle with Rahul Gandhi, is conspicuously not mentioning vote chori at all in all his public meetings and rallies. When he's with Rahul Gandhi, he kind of sheepishly mentions it. When Rahul Gandhi is not there, not a word from Tejasvi Yadav. It seems like his allies don't really buy into whether it has any resonance, Tehseen.
So let me just, one thing my friend Rohan said, because this was not a technical debate, but the Congress and the RJD have filed 70,000 affidavits on those 65 lakhs names that were deleted. A lot of that were filed from areas that they felt affected their core voters. I'm aware of this personally. Secondly, on the 0 address thing, the Election Commission gave its explanation, but has not been able to explain that if addresses are 0, why does no Aadhaar card have 0? Aadhaar is proof of identity and residence, not proof of citizenship. So the Election Commission is not helping itself. But let me not get into a technical debate. This is not a technical debate. I do agree with you. This has to go beyond the vote chori. And to that extent, now Tejasvi has taken this further to Bihar Adhikar Yatra. There we will give you your rights are being taken away. So that has been the shift, the paradigm shift. But the RJD does believe on the ground that they were denied a victory in some areas in the last election.
But then why isn't Tejasvi picking that up in a more enthusiastic way. He's completely avoiding saying it.
Because Rajat is right. And I've told this to the Congress. Just the vote chori will not help it win.
Okay.
Vote chori plus you will lose your rights, and we will give you your rights, including your rights to your welfareism.
Okay.
It has to be a plus.
Sanjay, go ahead. Make your point.
Yeah. Shiv, good evening to you and to all my fellow panelists on the program. I'm glad that we are having a very mature debate and really looking at it very strategically. Rahul Gandhi has taken the position, I think it's a brilliant position, to say that he represents India here. He's representing the youth of India. If you look at his entire conversation, and it's been there for a long time, he hasn't been pitching for the Congress or the opposition alone. He's been saying that India's constitutional democracy is under threat. And in the vote chori is very bipartisan. I'll give you one simple example. And at some point, Rohan needs to answer this. There are no permanent winners or losers in politics. The BJP will be in the opposition sooner rather than later. And would they like a Congress or a UPA or a India bloc prime minister appointing favored people in various institutions of India to subvert the democratic health of this country? And I think the answer ought to be no. It doesn't matter which party or which coalition is in government. The citizens must get institutions that are dispassionate, fair, and neutral, because that's the only way you will have a very healthy foundation for a flourishing democracy. I think Rahul on the vote chori, for example, has brought out many points. I don't want to get technical. If Rohan wants to do that, I've got 1,000 points here that I can argue on. But the larger message is that this is the core fundamental right in a country where, you know it, Shiv, you look at the data, such a large number of people in the informal workforce. We still have around 300 million people struggling below the poverty line, 800 million people dependent on cheap food grains. And as Tehseen rightly pointed out, that, end of day for an ordinary individual, I come from Bihar. I'm more privileged to have, studied outside and, worked in Mumbai, etc., etc. But the average person in the state that I come from struggles. If you look at the caste census that Mr. Nitish Kumar's government did, it showed, Shiv, you look at the data, it's so disconcerting. Around only 2% or 2.5% of people in Bihar have passenger cars. Only 3.5% people are postgraduates. And it's hard, right? Because it's a very agrarian economy. There's an absence of industry. So I think in the vote chori, Rahul Gandhi is basically not just talking to the people of Bihar. He's telling people today in his press conference that I heard, he's telling everybody in this country, we need healthy, neutral institutions that are not being bullied by their political masters.
But there is an election coming, and ultimately the question is going to be not a philosophical one. Is it going to be enough to actually win those votes as well? Rohan and Rajat both want to respond to Sanjay. Rohan quickly first and then Rajat. Rohan.
See, my friends Sanjay and Tehseen, both of them, they agreed to one point, that vote chori cannot be the central narrative. And that's why the reason I think they are not part of the Congress, because they won't be hurt. And that's why in Bihar, because I am in Bihar in war room, they have given easy win for BJP. I am telling you today. They have gifted BJP and NDA easy win, making vote chori a central campaign because it is not resonating with the people. And my friend Sanjay also has to talk about everything except vote chori, because he also knows there is no merits in the case. If there are merits, if there is a bit of substance, why Rahul Gandhi ji is not saying that he will take legal action? Why no legal action then? Why is afraid of taking legal action? If there is iota of truth in whatever he's saying, why is he afraid of taking legal action? It will become a national issue. Everybody will support. See, finding out anomalies in voter list doesn't prove that that's a vote chori. That is precisely what... Let
Rajat come in and then I'll get Sanjay to respond to both. Rajat.
So Shiv, very quickly, see, in any election campaign, and we are not going on to, the merit of this issue right at the outset, I've said that.
Yes, we're not.
See, in any election issue, you have to be very careful that you have to be a David in that campaign. You cannot be seen as a Goliath. But in this framing, that for 7 years in a pitch perfect manner, it's only now that things have gone awry. That doesn't cut ice. And this is my fundamental problem, that you have been a princeling. For 70 years, your party and your family has ruled this country, and you've seen how election commission and election commissioners, EC after EC were compromised. You had, likes of Naveen Chawla and so many others who were compromised to the hilt. you cannot suddenly come out and adopt the role of being a David in this battle. You want to do it. We can all see through it that you are trying to do that. See that there
No,
are
it's
bigger
actually,
powers who are controlling it. I can't do. I'm such a poor person on the ground, struggling with all of you for every voting right.
I
That
hear
doesn't
your
cut eyes with Rahul
Rajat,
Gandhi.
I hear your point. Tehseen, you want to come in, you've raised your hand because this is actually a familiar situation. In 2019, the entire Chaukidar Chor Hai campaign was kind of roundly rejected because Rahul Gandhi wasn't really in a position to be an anti-corruption mascot. And Rajat seems to suggest the same. He says, after being in power for so long through your family, you can't project yourself as a messiah to repair the electoral system that you've enjoyed for decades.
Again, I'd like to divide the two respectfully. Allegations of corruption don't stick on the prime minister. It's like on the prime minister. It's like water on a duck's back. It won't stick. That is wrong. In this particular case, there is a difference. He's not attacking the prime minister.
No, but he's pegging this also on the Prime Minister, Tehseen. He names him repeatedly.
Which may be fine, but he's saying there's an institutional lacuna which the BJP is not, which the BJP is helping him. For example, when a member of parliament, Anurag Thakur, comes out and says, oh, you've identified one assembly or 6 assemblies where things have gone wrong. We've identified 6 Lok Sabha constituencies where things have gone wrong. The common man says, hey, you're in government, fix it. Now, the argument that Rajat makes is that Mr. Gandhi's family has been in power. All right. And therefore, they are out of power for the last 11 years for you to fix the system. The two negatives don't make a positive. You can't blame this now, Mr. Gandhi, that because your grandfather or grandmother or your father's been in government, you will not fix the system. Now we'll allow the system. So I think, and then again, it's not about vote chori. It's about losing the welfare that they're getting is what's scaring the people of Bihar. They think they'll lose their welfareism. They're not going to think Indira Gandhi ne vote chori ki. That's not, it doesn't work like that.
Sanjay, 30 seconds left. You can have the last word. Sanjay, go ahead. Will this resonate with voters? You know, the rightness, wrongness, etc. will only be tested in an election result.
Let me tell you, Shiv, it already is an extraordinary success. I'll agree that not one issue is never enough, but it has got a massive head start for the India Alliance. 2 quick points. Credibility. Why is the Election Commission issue really caught the public imagination beyond Bihar? Because everybody's seen the way ED has been abused. Look at what the Supreme Court had to say about the ED. Why are you becoming, taking political positions? Why are you behaving like a crook? That's the language of the Supreme Court on the ED. And the people have seen this whole washing machine, Operation Lotus, hijacking of MLAs. It's damaged the BJP's perception across the board. Number 2, I think this is crucial because you know, when you said that why is Tejasvi not doing enough, he is doing quite a bit, even on vote chori. But this is what the India Alliance has got right in Bihar. Corruption is a big issue. 15 bridges collapsing in a month is a big issue. Unemployment is a massive challenge. Law and order in Patna, where I have been there for a few years in my early years, is in shambles. So Bihar, I think, is being fought in a very interesting way by the India Alliance. And Tejasvi is definitely the chief ministerial candidate.
As I always say, we can analyze these things till kingdom come, but ultimately the barometer, the real test will be in the elections themselves. We won't have to wait very long. Rohan, apologies, we're completely out of time. But I suspect that, with whatever bomb is coming next, the hydrogen bomb was supposed to come today, but it didn't. We'll have to wait for that. But we'll be debating this quite a bit more. Thanks very much, Tehseen, Rajat, Sanjay, and Rohan for being with me on discussion number 1 here on India Matters.